I'm in the club all day and all night, cause I work there. I'm the bartender, I'm the bus boy, I'm security, for real I work there. I'm in the mall, morning, noon, and night.
I was just playing Lamorne Morris's song from, what is this? This is Famous. You guys don't know, I got a special guest going on here. Boom, requested. Lamorne's in the building. I guess what? You know what? I started late, so we're going to start this show as quick as we can. But before we start this show, there's a lot going on. I got to bring you my sponsors. Sponsors for today, guys. Socially distanced porn. Sponsors for today are socially distanced porn. With COVID ravaging the country, democracy on the brink, in times like this, a lot of us are taking things pretty hard, but no one is taking it as hard as the porn industry. No MILFs, no squirting, no gangbangs for months. Skin flicks have been under cockdown. This may seem like a disappointment, but true Americans know that now, more than ever, we need to support these missionary missions. The MILF news is probably the most devastating, as it's a sad reminder that the elderly are most susceptible during these times. It's just a sad reminder. If we keep banging away at this, we can beat it. So here's to hoping that one day we will all once again come together. Knock on wood. Guys, we have a great guest today. We have writer, director, creator, singer, rapper. He does it all. Producer. I saw him the other day working crafty. He's that hard at work. What's going on, Mr. Lamorne Morris?
What's up, twin? Dude, you gotta let me know if my signal is trash truck juice, because it is. I'm in the woods, man. I'm in the woods.
It's real. It is trash juice, but you know what? You look like you're about to record with Kanye right now somewhere. You putting out his next album.
I might just do it. You know, you're gonna follow me real quick. I gotta get my bug spray. I got multiple types of bug spray up here. I also have this candle that is also bug spray, or should I say bug candle. So I'm getting closer to the router. Just bear with me.
Okay.
Nice hat.
Thank you.
Nice.
I dressed today like I thought Keith would dress from Woke.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I see it. Well, I don't know if you would have that tie on like that, but you doing it, and I don't judge.
I'm trying. A lot of people have compared us and our likenesses. How much do you think that's held back your career?
Immensely. I could have been a somebody. No. I could have been a contender. No, I think it's great. I think it's absolutely great because it's a reference point. It's like, if the audition notice says think Malcolm Barrett, then I know I got a shot. I go, oh, okay, cool. All right, great. We in there, and vice versa.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think it absolutely has helped my career.
I'm like, if I see it, I'm like, what does it say, Lamorne? I'm like, I got a shot. You motherfuckers better stay. I'm like, if this motherfucker's busy for a month, I got a shot at this.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. You know? But to be quite honest with you, man, it has hurt me. It has hurt me, and here's why. Because if there's another person that's very similar to me and has a very similar disposition, we have similar speech patterns at times. So I'm like, damn it. I try my best, especially when I go in for auditions and stuff. I go, well, at least I know I'm the only one who delivers material like me. And then if I look over on the list of who signed in before me or I see your name, I go, yeah. At least I know I'm one of two people that has a very similar audition style.
My thing, that's like when you hear people in the audition room before you go out there and shit and you hear their choices. I always find it funny when it's things I would never do, where it's just like a quiet scene and they're yelling and stuff. You're like, is this the same? Am I reading?
Absolutely. Very curious as to why they made those choices. It helped me in quite a few auditions where I'm just kind of like listening in. And I remember one guy in particular thought it would be great to just start doing like stand-up material. I'm not gonna say who he was, but he was on a roll doing stand-up material, and I mean it was crickets, absolute crickets in there. I didn't book it either, to be quite honest with you,
Okay.
But I did get the call back, and he did not.
Okay.
So
You can't really knock if he got it. You can't really knock it if you both didn't get it. These
that's
Yeah.
true. That's true. Well, it was different. Well, because I went in the room during the callback and had nothing but racial slurs to say to everybody. So I was like, oh, I'm for sure not going to get this. Oh, you don't like these jokes?
you got to go hard.
Oh, my God, man.
Are you biding your time? What are you doing? How are you doing right now? You're clearly in Wisconsin or somewhere.
I, I am in Texas.
How are you doing, man? How are you biding your time? Are you doing anything of interest in Texas currently?
Yeah, dude. So, first, I'm here in Texas promoting my show, promoting Woke on this fantastic show that a group of lovely people got together and cast me for, and I think it's doing pretty good right now. People are, really vibing with it. So I'm here just promoting it, talking about it. Um, Also, I'm considering buying something here in Texas.
Okay.
It's a consideration. It's a
Okay.
consideration. I've always liked Texas. Um, I come to Texas probably maybe once a year. I have a buddy who lives out here, has this crazy ranch, and we always go and just kick it and hang out. A big group of us, and I always love the amount of space you get out here, the land. Some of the people are really nice.
Good.
Some of the people, it depends on which bar you walk into. But for the most part, everyone that I meet, from Texas is great. So I was like, oh, maybe I definitely want like another place to that's not LA that I can kind of hang out in.
I was wondering what you were talking about buying. If it was a ranch, a club, a person, what?
Person. Due to Texas's past, maybe I could have bought a person, but I think they shut those shops down.
There's option. Well, it's Texas. Everything might be open again. You don't know what's open.
The pandemic shut down slavery. Yeah.
Guys, we're lucky we can bring slavery back. Only for like a month and a half during lockdown.
Damn, man.
Help the economy.
And guys, that's how Lamorne canceled himself. Malcolm and Lamorne were both canceled at the exact same time.
I want to be canceled with somebody. That's how I know. You know what I mean? If I'm going to be canceled, you got to bring somebody in it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Mark Bernardin said slavery pop up.
Oh, God.
Do you worry now? You're long in this business. Do you worry about this whole cancel thing? I mean, particularly doing a show like Woke. I mean, it's a way. Are you worried about like, hey, how does the public see me? What can I do? Because you also create so much of your own content anyway.
Yeah, I do. I do worry about cancel culture. It's scary. It's scary, and I mean it across the board. It's more. I'm more scared about the things that people say that get them canceled. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times when people do something, it's usually pretty egregious. Um, there are people who get canceled for sexual assault. You should be canceled. You should be jailed. You know what I'm saying? So, but then there are people who have made a racist joke on Twitter, or some crazy joke a bunch of years ago, and then they get canceled for it. And I'm like, well, man, the humor is a very sensitive thing. Humor, us living in the humorous space, sometimes we might say something that might rub someone the wrong way, and over time we've become more sensitive and more sensitive. So it's difficult. It really is difficult, man. To just don't, like, just now we made a brief, quick slavery joke, but
Quick.
take it real quick, but take it out of context. That's how quick our careers could go.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? And I hate that. I was watching Stephen A. Smith. I love Stephen A. Smith. I love basketball, and he was talking about cancel culture, and he said something that was really cool to me. He said, instead of cancel culture, maybe we should try counsel culture, because usually when someone says something, that means they're misinformed. If they say something wrong, that means they're misinformed, and we should look at that as an opportunity to inform someone that they just messed up, as opposed to saying, okay, you're done. because to mess up and to error is human. You know what I mean? And why can't we be human and make these mistakes? You know what I mean? And then fix it, truly, genuinely fix it. And you know what I mean?
I feel like there's a lot more room for people who do make their own work because people understand they have a relationship to the community, to the audience they have. Is this the reason why you did Brain Rush, so that you could stay away from being canceled and just focus?
And the kids, man. I had to focus on the kids. So much. I hate you so much. I did. You know why I did Brain Rush, to be honest with you? So I can stay out of my car. I was broke, bro. I was broke, and it was a fun show. I used to host. I used to do a lot of hosting, and I still want to. So if anyone's watching this, I still want to do more hosting. But Brain Rush was, if you guys don't know, it's a Cartoon Network show. It was a live action show where it was like Cash Cab, but on a roller coaster. So kids would get on a roller coaster, and then while we're on the roller coaster, I'm asking them questions, and they win money. So I did that show, and didn't pay me a lot, but it kept me afloat just enough to book New Girl. So I was excited about that. Well, it kept me afloat long enough to book some commercials first. Then that kept me afloat, and then New Girl.
My my favorite part of it is there's this segment where you're talking to a girl, like one of these teens or something like that, after the whole thing is over. And it takes a little bit to cut, but you clearly deliver your line and then look away from it completely. You're like, and we'll be back with more. Like, oh, you guys are not going to talk to each other. That's how I know you're not a predator.
Let me tell you something. Cancel culture. If I don't look your direction. Like,
this is years, dude. This is like 2013.
Yeah. No, this was before that, bro. This is like 2010. Yeah, it's like 2010 or something like that. This was, man. You know, the craziest thing is, I remember that was my first time seeing myself on a billboard. They made these big billboards with the cheesiest. If you guys I don't care. Do yourselves a favor. Look it up. It's so stupid. This billboard that I had, I was so cheesy. And one of my friends, I think I had money in my hand like this. And I was just smiling from ear to ear. This is when I thought that you had to smile a lot to make people not be threatened by you. So I was smiling a lot, and I had like this money in my hand like this. And then one of my boys was like, dude, I saw your billboard. And I was like, cool, take a picture. He sent me a picture of that, but he photoshopped the money out and then put a huge black dick in my hand. And it was just, I gotta find that photo. But every time I think of Brain Rush, I think of me holding a dick in my hand. And I was just like, my God, man, like, why would he do that to me? Because now it's always going to be in my, even if they call me and say, we want to do another season of Brain Rush, we want to give you $1 million. I would be like, I don't want that dick in my hand, though. Like,
I love that in this scenario, Cartoon Network has called you up to do another season of Brain Rush.
I would be so down. You don't understand, bro. I would be so down. I would love to do it.
Now, were you doing this at the same time as the Vine videos and all of that sort of thing, or was this before that?
It was before that. I started doing Vine after I was on New Girl. And the reason why I started doing it was because I wasn't really a social media guy. I mean, I posted a few stupid jokes on Twitter here and there. You know, I have like joke battles with people, but that's as much as I was involved with social media. I barely use Facebook. But then when, Vine started, a couple friends of mine, King Batch, They Storm Power, Alpha Cat, we were going on this trip to Jamaica, and they were like, dude, have you heard of Vine? And I was like, yeah, I heard of it, but I don't have it yet. And so I downloaded it, and that's all they did on this trip was make Vines. I'm talking over and over and over again. And that to me was like the beginning, because I saw it. Like I saw it was about to make stars out of these dudes. And these dudes took off. I was just playing around. But like jumping in their videos, I would write some Vines for them, like just here's a little idea. But these cats would take it and turn it in. If you see how these dudes live, man, they they turned it into like you couldn't, some of them you couldn't pay to put them on a television series because that's not enough money for them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? These dudes are making so much money on YouTube, just doing their own thing. They're the bosses of their own careers, creating short content, long form content, getting nominated for Emmys. So to me, Vine was a big platform. I didn't jump on it obviously because that just wasn't my lane. But if I could do it all over again, I probably would pay a little bit more attention to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You tend to do a lot of creating behind the scenes. I mean, you wrote and directed, I think, I'm not sure people even know, on New Girl as well.
Yeah.
What is the impetus to be this creator? When did you start going, I need to be the orchestrator of the content I'm putting out there?
Kind of when I just when you're shooting New Girl, for example, you have these lulls in the off season sometimes where you don't work, where you don't book a movie. Like I wasn't getting that much love in the beginning, So, I would always hear, and then I would look at cats that I work with, like a Jake Johnson, for example. Jake was always making his own movies in the summer. He'd make his indie films, sell them, and I just thought, man, that's a really cool way to look at things and to do things. I had this fantasy in my head that, get on TV and everyone just comes and takes their clothes off and throws money on you and worships. I was like, oh, that's TV lifestyle, right? But it was like, no, bro, you gotta still create. You're a creator. That is what you do. This is just a platform for you. It's a jumping off point, gives you some visibility, and it's just cool material. It's really fun material. But I wanted to do other stuff. I had all this time off. So when I wrote the episode on New Girl, and I wrote that episode, that happened because of what was going on in Ferguson, with police brutality and things like that. I just, I play a black cop on TV with a cat named Ferguson. So I was like, I would get these tweets constantly where people, Twitter's funny. Like people are hilarious. Like people kept comparing my situation to what was going on in Ferguson. Like, what does Lamorne think? I was like, what? What are you talking about? So, I did want to address it. I did want to address the elephant in the room, especially on a show where we did nothing but glorify. And I just wanted to kind of show both sides of the coin a little bit to go, hey, if I am a black police officer, I got feelings too. Because I know black cops who are like, who don't agree with what's going on. You know what I'm saying? They definitely feel conflicted to their brotherhood, in blue, and then their brotherhood in black, So I wanted to definitely write an episode that spoke to that.
And how was the response to that?
Weird, to be honest with you. I got a lot of good feedback and honest criticism from people, but it wasn't an episode where I was bashing anybody yet. It was met on I had so many cops mad at me, hit me up like, what the hell, and all this stuff. And I was like, man, I mean, a few cops were pretty cool about it, but I wasn't bashing anybody in that episode. I thought it was pretty light, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Really light. And, so I was just, that kind of woke me up a little bit to go like, man, this is something. This is a hot button topic that you gotta be real careful when you address it and when you talk about it. Because it's obviously a sensitive subject. People are losing their lives and people are risking their lives. So, I just, as a citizen, as a person, and as an actor, I was like, I gotta say something. You know what I mean? Like, and I did it. So, doing interviews on CNN, stuff like that was really new to me. I had never, don't talk to me about politics like that, just because I was the guy who would moonwalk out of the conversation. Because just like my character in Woke, I didn't really want to be involved. I was like, I just kind of want to act and not get destroyed for it. I just want to keep my head down and make sure I make enough money to take care of my family. That's all I want to do. And then you're met with all this pressure, and then you can't help but see what's happening in the world, that you at least want to say something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's funny. We have there's an actor in here, Niambi. He's on A Good Fight, and I think he literally had a scene where his character speaks to camera and like talks about Nazis, and and is like, and spoiler alert, He does not speak positively about Nazis.
Oh.
So
See, but you know, well,
I know.
Does he have a criminal record?
I know. I didn't do the background work. I'm not sure.
Okay, well,
I should
you gotta
check it
ask
out.
that.
I should check it out.
But that's what's crazy is like he basically the character speaks badly about Nazis, and you know, Niambi the actor gets flack for that, or he has to think about like, you know, what does that mean? Do you find it hard, particularly at these times, to separate yourself from a need for activism? Do you feel like you need to be active, and how does that relate doing a show like Woke, which is clearly very culturally relevant in this moment?
I always tell people if you're an artist, be an artist. And when you're an artist, you usually create to what you know how to do. Like if you're a sculptor, you're probably not painting that often. You know, maybe you are, but usually if your medium is acting, like pure acting, just straight acting, you're probably not doing stand up too much. So I say stick to what you know and learn how to do other things if you want to, and that includes activism. You know, if you have something on your heart that you want to kind of express, if you have something that you feel convicted to do, then do it, because you do have a platform and your art got you there. And if everyone's looking at your art, you know, so basketball, for example, if everyone's watching you, you know, dunk a basketball and they get so excited and the arena is filled with 50,000 people, next time you go up for a dunk, just pause in midair and then look at the camera and say, racism sucks, y'all. We got to stick together. Score one for the kids. You got to do something like that. You know what I'm saying? Drop a PSA while you can. Like, you know, I think it's cool that everyone's, you know, putting, you know, stuff on the floor and, you know, and doing all those things and wearing names on their shoes and on the back of their jersey. I think that's really dope. But what's cooler to me is that they know that people are watching. And so they're using their platform as best as they can, because some of them aren't able to articulate what it is they want to say. So when they do get that opportunity after the game, and I love it. A lot of times they'll ask a question like, "Oh, you guys are out rebounded by four today, and you lost the game. What's going on?" It's like, well, we got to find justice for Breonna Taylor, you know. And I love that. You know what I'm saying? Like I absolutely love it. And so I think that's what they're doing. And that's, for me as an artist, I can separate the two quite easily, because creating is creating. I feel fulfilled telling a silly joke as I do maybe telling a joke that's loaded with some sort of point to it. You know what I mean? Because to me, I like to make people laugh and entertain people, and I can do both. And I feel like if you have the ability to do both, then do it. And also, I will say, again, speak to what you know. If you don't know how, and if you don't know what you're talking about, which I've done a lot, and I've learned this the hard way, shut up. Go get educated then, or talk to somebody who does know, you know, or just ask questions. That's why a lot of times you see on my IG, I ask questions because I genuinely don't know.
I think we all got to think about that. I'm sure I've done that a number of times. I can't think of any. I'm mostly right. But I think it's always wild when motherfuckers just out of nowhere just try and be Martin Luther King or
I know, dude.
Stokely Carmichael and shit. You're like, today? All right. I mean, join up, but like you should read a little bit first.
I mean, you just posted an empty link. You don't even know how to use links. Told me to vote, but what do you mean? Where's the link? I don't know how to find it.
You sent me a link to vote.edu. I don't know what we're talking about.
Dude, this is just an address to your house.
Stop. Everyone knows where you live. Stop.
Quickly delete this.
I'm just trying to educate.
Yeah, man. Because again, that's very dangerous. It is very dangerous to speak out on things that you don't know about. What I love is my idol is Dave Chappelle, and I remember it was 8 minutes and 46 seconds. His special that he did, where he's like, people keep asking me what do I think? When is Dave Chappelle going to speak out? These kind of and I loved the whole thing, and the reason why I loved it is because he addressed that. You know, he's like, hey man, I tell jokes for a living. This is serious. This is serious. Please, if y'all looking for me, if y'all looking to me to have answers, then we are in trouble. Like, yo, this is all hands on deck, and the streets are already talking. So for me, I say what I know, and then I leave it to in the hands of the activists and the people that are truly activated in getting stuff done on a ground level. You know what I mean? And if they reach out to me often and say, hey, can you post something for me? We'll have a discussion about it, and boom, I'll post it. Politicians will say, hey, here's my campaign. What do you think? And I'll look at it. If I vibe with it, then, you know, I'm like, okay, cool. That makes sense. I'll donate and I'll post, you know. I have a buddy, Qasim Rashid. He's running for Congress in Virginia. We went to high school together. You know what I mean? And he was a very valuable tool for me in general, just in life. He's one of the best people I know. And he always constantly preaches like, dude, if you don't know something, just call me, you know. And he calls me randomly just to tell me what's happening. Like, he knows about everything that's going on, and he's been actively working to change things since he was a civil rights attorney. So he's like, just call me, dude. So folks out there, man, just call a friend of yours, you know, who might know something that you don't know before you get, you know, deleted and canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you should run a service to help actors not get canceled. I think it'd be worthy.
I might accidentally release a dick pic like Chris Evans or something. I might.
You should.
I should. No, nobody wants to see that.
I don't know if America loves you enough to allow you to just release a dick pic.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Let me tell you something. That's not that would not be a good look. Well, it would be a great look. You know what I'm saying?
No.
But for the movement, that'd be a great look for the movement.
I did it for the movement. Yeah, you got to do like 7 Avengers before you could just whip your dick out.
Yeah, I was trying to, man. I did a movie called Bloodshot, and I was like, oh, we got this whole universe coming, and then COVID happened, and then we did like 3 days in the movie theater, and then I don't know if I hopefully we get a sequel. Hopefully we can do 7 of them. Then I'm whipping it out. You
got to do like 38 Bloodshots.
Yeah.
To really
get your dick out and be cool with what would happen after that.
I'm
excited. Well, Bloodshot is crazy because I feel like that's probably one of your biggest international movies, right? Like, and I'm pulling. I've done no research. But it seems really huge. What was the inspiration for the character? And I ask that not because I care about your process, but because you have an accent in the movie.
Oh man, you know, I'm sure you do accents too. I'm not sure if you ever got to use one in a project before, but I never have. And so I just goof around for a living. So I always do it amongst friends or whatever. But then I got the call for it, and the script said Russian. And I was like, that might be a stretch. I don't know about this one. But the casting director said, don't do Russian, do a British accent. And like, just put something on tape and hurry up and send it. He said, just hurry up and send it. So I did, but I didn't shoot it like a traditional audition. I shot the scene like a real scene. Like I used my boy Batch. My buddy was good. He edited together for us. We shot with coverage and everything. Batch played Bloodshot because he has abs and stuff. And so, you know, and so we did the whole thing. And Batch is a filmmaker, so he was we were both like discussing angles, and it was like we were shooting a real project. But it was just my audition material. Sent it in, and then 20 minutes later, I got a call from my manager saying, I hope you like South Africa because you booked it. I was like, what? It was the quickest I ever booked anything. It was faster than me booking in the room, which I've done before. So I was like, my gosh, like it was a dream come true, obviously, working with Vin and the whole cast. But when I got there, the director was like, man, I love the accent. I love everything you did. And he goes, what made you choose a British accent? And I just looked at him with dead eyes like, I thought that's what y'all wanted. And so now I was stuck to it. I was stuck with the British accent. He was like, you could have gone with your regular accent too. He's like, but hey, you chose British, so that's what we're gonna go with. And so I was like, man, I had some dope dialect coaches, but there were 4 different ones. I had an American dialect coach teaching me a British accent. I had two South African dialect coaches teaching me British accent, and an actual British individual teaching me the British accent. And they were like, everyone had their different notes. They were like, I feel like you're more East London, am I? Like, you might want to switch it up a bit here. And I was like, I don't know what you're saying to me. I just shot 3 scenes sounding like this, and now you're telling me to shoot. And I'm like, all right, man, screw it. And so, you know, I guess it worked out. I didn't get killed too bad for it. They said I was better than Don Cheadle in Ocean's 11. That's what they said.
Okay.
That's what they said.
Okay.
Don Cheadle is one of the goats. So I was like, oh, okay. You know?
That's a good bar. You gotta at least get that. You gotta
exactly.
I feel like Don Cheadle in Ocean's 11, it made black people go, okay, all right,
yeah,
fuck it.
Yeah. Okay, he's a real actor. Okay, put him in Hotel Rwanda now. Let's see what he does.
That's beautiful. Where was Bloodshot shot? I'm guessing you're going like places you haven't gone before. Like, how crazy is this? You're like a kid from Chicago now going to South Africa. Like, how wild is that?
Dude, it was wild, bro. I'm talking Cape Town, London. I was in Montreal. It was beautiful, because when you're growing up and you want to be an actor, it just seems like an impossible feat, especially like you're right, being from Chicago. But I just kind of, over the years, slowly things started happening where I would travel for work, but nothing like Africa. You know what I mean? And when you see these, like when DVDs used to have like the deleted scenes or like bonus footage, and they would show like behind the scenes stuff. And it's like, oh, we flew out to Hawaii to shoot this movie. Like Adam Sandler shoots all this stuff in Hawaii now. And then all these people shoot these exotic locations. And I always thought that like would never happen to me. Like what? Like I'm going to be shooting in a studio and on a stage for the rest of my life in Van Nuys or something. And I was just like, to get that call that you're going to South Africa was one of the more beautiful moments in my life, because it just kind of validated a lot of stuff that I always thought about myself, but sometimes you have these insecurities and stuff. So it was pretty cool to get that call that I would be a part of a project like that. But it's what we do. And I had to unjade myself quickly, because when you get to set, then you see Vin Diesel standing there, you're like, act like you've been here before.
Yeah.
But I haven't. There's a zebra. I have not. So yeah, so it was an amazing experience, man. And hopefully we get another one. We'll see.
Yeah, man. Well, it's a beautiful journey, man. Especially, I think you said you're from Chicago. Were you part of the whole Second City scene and that sort of thing?
Yeah, Second City, IO, which is Improv Olympic, UCB when I moved to New York. But yeah, Second City is my hub. Second City was like everything for me. You know what I mean? That place taught me, one, like the basics, like how to, like who to go to get your headshots done. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that, when you're just like, how do I get off this stage? They're like, okay, you get stuff from headshots. Here's a guy. His card is on the bulletin board. It was like a little resource center. And more than performance, it was a resource center, because all the people you're in class with are all going to be people you work with for the rest of your life, possibly. And I have worked with a lot of those cats. You know what I mean? Thomas Middleditch is someone that, I was in improv class with. Stephen Yoon from Walking Dead, he's somebody I was in improv class with. When I was at Second City performing, TJ Miller was performing the same time. Tim Baltz, Chris Witowski. There's a lot of people, Edgar Blackman, a lot of cats that like Tracy Bonner. These people are in movies, they're in TV shows, they're doing everything that I'm doing, and it feels great because we all kind of came out of this thing and we all make a living acting. Mm-hmm. When we were all on stage together, just trying to figure out how to like initiate a scene. Like, oh, so I just say anything? Oh yeah, cool. And then someone will come in and add on to it. All right, cool. We're gonna be movie stars one day. like just to think about the journey is crazy to me, because when I started improv, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. To see where all of us, are now is a very beautiful thing.
Were you doing stand-up at the same time around then?
No, I actually never really did stand up.
No.
I dabbled in stand up slightly, but I never officially like committed myself to it. And I'll be 100% honest with you. To me, that's the hardest form of performance.
It's a whole other job.
I mean, it's not just being on stage. A lot of people think that they're like, "Oh, you're funny. You can be on stage." Yeah, but I could, I've been called lazy a time or two. Like that's a true grind, bro. Like people are like traveling around bombing for years, and then they become mega sensations. But what you didn't see is that grind. You didn't see Tiffany Haddish grinding. You didn't see, Lil Rel in his grinding stage or Kevin Hart in his grinding stage. You didn't see that. You see the success, but like I'm gonna go ahead and say Chappelle's probably the only one who never had a bombing streak. You know what I mean? Like I just feel like he never bombed. I just feel like he was always on fire. But that's a struggle that I didn't want to I didn't want to go through. I started acting too early on, and seeing a little bit of success too early on to go. Now let me go and jump off this this mountain over here and see if I can fly. Like no, I tried my luck with acting and it worked out, so I'm gonna stick with it.
I feel like you do a lot of impressions though. I guess if you haven't done a stand up, I feel like you've done these videos, you do the hip hop videos. Do you have like a list of characters that you do or impression celebrities that you do?
I used to do Denzel a lot, and the only reason why I did Denzel is because Jay Farrow did Denzel. You know what I mean? Like I was like, man, that dude's great. I was like, Jay Farrow is just, I mean, he switches out his voice box and turns into other people. So I really admire him. But that's the reason why I started doing it, because he did it, and I saw how he did it, and I was like, I wonder if I could do it. And I tried it, and I was like, oh, it's not bad. You know what I mean? And Eddie Murphy was somebody who people used to just say when I was a kid that I looked like him. And so I thought, oh, let me try him. Dave Chappelle was somebody I never really got down, but he's just somebody I admire. So I'll tell you a fun story. When I first started on BET as a host, I didn't know, it was my first time really on TV like that. So I didn't know how to be as a host. I was like, as an actor, I know how to do a scene and and then whatever comes out, comes out. But as a TV host, I was like, oh, should I put on a voice or something? I don't know what I'm doing. My brother calls me one day after seeing my first time on TV. He goes, he looks at me and he goes, why do you sound like Dave Chappelle? And I was like, wait, what do you mean? He goes, you're legitimately doing a Dave Chappelle impression. And I was like, honestly, it's because I don't know how to talk yet on TV. And so, people used to say it all the time, why did you knock off Dave Chappelle ass dude? And I was like, yeah, to be fair, I was trying to be Dave Chappelle. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know what to do with my hands. I was just, but Denzel is somebody that now I get asked to do it in movies and stuff like that. Game Night, I did it. I got asked to do it in another movie, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna do it. I didn't want, so I'm not gonna do it again.
They want you to go to the well.
Yeah, keep doing it. Keep doing that thing you do. You mean pretending to be somebody else? While pretending to be somebody else? It's like, I don't want to keep doing it, but
That's funny. So what's the next big shit, man? What are you looking to do? I mean, speaking of impressions, I feel like the first time I saw you do the big impression, the big video, the all thing, that this is the Lamorne thing, having fun, was the Trinidad James thing, where I was like, oh, okay, all right, he's doing the voice thing, he's spitting some bars. I think your video might have got more hits than his. I don't know. But I know you have an album coming out now, right? Is it The Morning After Pill? Is that this album, or was that from this or from a previous album? Yeah. It was
the start of this. That Trinidad James parody, Belizean James, was the start of me making an album.
I love how seriously you said it, like you were on the Actors Studio. You were like, the Trinidad James parody video. Bayesian James.
It's called. Yeah. Well, it was something that I was inspired by while driving down a lonesome road one evening, and I heard "All Gold Everything" maybe 17 times in a row.
Yes.
And I said to myself, "You have got to be kidding me."
Nigga.
so many times. And I just said, this is one of the dumbest songs I've ever heard in my entire life. By the time I got home, I said to myself, this is one of the dopest songs I've ever heard in my entire life. I was like, what just happened to me in this car ride? Like, oh my gosh. So once that happened, I got home. This is not a joke. I got to my apartment. I had roommates there, and they had friends over. Everyone was like, yo, Lamorne, have you seen this video? I go on the laptop. Everyone's looking at the laptop. They're watching the video for it. And I was like, no, this is a sign. I must parody this guy. Like, I heard it 17 times. By the time I got home, I knew all the words. And so me and some buddies just kind of like went to the studio and messed around and made it happen. And I heard he hated it. And to be honest, I really did. And I've seen him out. Like, I've legit seen him out. Maybe he didn't notice me, but like, I've said hello, and he flat out flicked his perm and just walked the other direction. This is a real thing. But Trinidad James, I love the dude, but like, I think he hates me. I genuinely think either he hates me or he genuinely did not see me. Like, he just didn't see me. You know what I mean? Like, hey, it's me, Trinidad. I'm the guy who did the snitch. Never. Just walked away.
There's no way he doesn't know who you are. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's just no way. The guy from the TV show made a video about him. He knows.
Exactly. You would think so. You would think so. I mean, but the way he flicked his perm and all his, and you know, and he does have a lot of gold on. I'm not gonna lie to you. This guy is dripping. But like, I was like, all right, yeah, he was fly. He was fly. He had on a gown or something. I don't know what he was wearing. He was wearing, I don't know, a shawl. He looked fly though. I ain't gonna lie. Somebody just asked, "Are we in the same room?" No, we're not in the same room. We're not. I'm in a weird room right now.
What is this? What is this room? What is this? You look like you're staying in the Get Out suite. What is this place?
I am in an Airbnb here in Texas, and this is the person who owns this house must be a musician, because you know it's a lot of music memorabilia up here. He's got like dope guitars on the wall, you know, all kinds of stuff. Guitar in the corner.
You should get this guy on the morning after.
I should. I would really like to, because I'm doing a follow-up album. You, my friend.
Yes.
Would you? So.
Man, I almost text you that instead of inviting you on the show, man. In a heartbeat, man.
Okay. What about you? You do any impressions? You do any, you know?
I don't do any. Well, what's funny is I got the Dave Chappelle comparisons too, and so because of that, I would stray away from anything related to it. But then what's funny is I did this guy's show. I'm not gonna say who it is, but I did this comedian show where I was playing Dave Chappelle, and then the comedian didn't show up,
And so I'm just like,
I was like, why am I here? What is my career?
Call his agent quick. Listen, we need to make some changes.
yeah.
I called all my white reps. Like, see, this is why I don't do black shit. Okay, see, stop doing all these black shits. I did it once.
Dude, funny story. For people who don't know this, you mentioned that you were in a movie called We the Peoples.
Yes.
And you were so funny. If you guys haven't seen this movie, go and watch it. You are so funny in this movie.
Oh,
But Callie Hawk, who's in the movie.
Yes, who's on New Girl, played your girlfriend.
Yes, and Anna Marie Horsford is in the movie. She plays my mom on New Girl. Did I tell you the story?
Tell the story. I love it.
Is she in the movie? Is she in We the Peoples?
No, Anne-Marie's not. I've met her a bunch, but no.
So Callie invites me to the premiere, you know, to go as her date. She's like, hey, you know, we're working together. She's like, hey, you want to come to the premiere? I was like, all right, cool. Go to the premiere, and after the premiere, the woman who plays my mom on New Girl, Anna Marie Horsford, the woman who plays my mom on New Girl, comes up to me after the movie and slaps me on the arm and goes, "You didn't tell me you were in this movie." And I looked at her like, you ain't that old. Please don't tell me dementia is settling in. I was like, what is going on with her? And then it clicked. Oh my God. Is she, not her too, not people in the industry who confuse you and I all the time.
When it's industry black folks, that hurts the most.
Yes.
You're like, I was going to blame this on white people. What the fuck?
Yes, exactly. Dude, people were coming up to me after the premiere. If you guys have never gone to a premiere before, after the movie, you come out, fans are there, you take photos, maybe sign some autographs, stuff like that. I signed so many autographs for people who thought that I was you. I swear. People were taking photos with me. Some people had videos out. Like, he did such a great job in the movie. You killed it, dude. Love your character, our new girl. And I was like, you are just all over the map, aren't you, young lady? Like, I'm not in this movie. Oh, it's him. He's standing right there. And they're like, oh, hey. And I was like, my God.
That's why I feel like that's why I'm nice to strangers sometimes, just because I don't want you to get a bad rap.
I can imagine. I can see that going south quickly.
You know what I mean?
If we ever get beef, I am in trouble. And so are you. And so are you, man. I'm walking to a bank. I'm Malcolm Barrett, nigga. Security footage will confirm it. That is Malcolm Barrett.
I'm Lamorne, motherfucker.
Get the fuck out of everything.
Where did you actually go, though? Did you go and pee? What happened?
Just now? I like to use the space.
Oh, because you literally disappeared from camera. It's like when someone's doing a bit, but they're using it also as like to really make something happen.
Oh, I'm glad you brought this up. It's time for 1 minute of awkward. You have the space to yourself.
Oh my God. All right, well, cool. I'm going to teach myself guitar for a second here. This is not... I tried to teach myself guitar once before on a shoot, but this really scary white lady kept yelling at me to smile more, and it felt weird for some reason. I was 18 years old, and she kept going, smile! Let's see those pearly whites, Lamorne! Smile! And I got up, and let me tell you something. I started crying. I really did start crying, because I was like, is this supposed to happen to me? But anyway, this is a guitar that I'm going to... You think it's... Should I open this case, guys? It's signed. This guitar is signed by this guy. Can anybody tell me who this guy is? Can anybody tell me who he is? Oh.
Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, sorry. Well, I was just about to play the guitar and melt the panties off of all your viewers.
Oh, please.
No, it's too late.
Is it? Okay. Did I ruin the...
Yeah, you messed up. That was really awkward. It's actually awkward that you came back because, I was about to romance the hell out of y'all, man.
Well, I'm sorry to cut it off.
Bicep game on point, dog. Oh, my God.
Are you getting jacked now? Are you going to be like one of those funny people with muscles now? Is that your lane?
Like Joe Piscopo.
Is that your lane? You and Carrot Top?
Me and Carrot Top, man. We go way back. No, I actually beat him on an episode of At Midnight. Anyway, no, I... No, no, I don't plan on getting... I am in shape now, but I got in shape for something, and I kind of just maintain it now until someone ever casts me for something, so I'm not far removed from being in shape. But there was a point where, like, I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. Like, my belly got so big. I was like fat skinny, where I was skinny. Like, my wrists are really tiny, but my belly was so big, it was embarrassing. Like, it was genuinely embarrassing.
That happened to me on my last show, and you know that thing when you're skinny fat, it takes you a second to notice it. Like, somebody has to do something where they touch you, and then you're like, oh, okay, let's not. I don't want that anymore.
Yo, I don't want to get too graphic over here.
No.
But I've had let's just say I had some complaints.
Do it.
Too much belly.
My old deal was like, you're fat when the stomach go past your titties.
You know what I mean? Guy or girl.
Guy or girl.
You know you're too fat when you wake up in the morning to go take a piss and you gotta find your dick.
You gotta,
You're like, move out the way.
You got to suck in to get your aim right.
Yeah,
Okay.
this could be really messy.
Somebody clean this shit up.
Um,
Speaking of being an adult, you're the producer now. Is that a...
Yeah,
All right.
gotta do it. Gotta do it.
You're somebody's boss or something?
Hey,
somehow.
give me a lemonade. It's just stuff like that, man.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all it is.
I get it. You produced something called Death of a Telemarketer? Is that something?
Yes. So
I'm just reading your IMDb. It's not, I didn't do any reading.
So Death of a Telemarketer, it's kind of going around the festival circuit now. It's something Khaled Ridgway, a guy out of Chicago, out of USC, Datari Turner produced. Crazy cast. I read the script and I was like, man, this guy wrote a beautiful script, and he was fresh out of USC. And I was like, hey man, look, you can be the next Brian Coogler, dog. I'm down to do whatever you want to do. And he killed it. So, it's moving around the circuit space right now. It's what is it? We got Jackie Earl Haley. We got Haley. Yeah, we got Haley Joel Osment.
you got all the Haleys.
No, we got all the Haleys in there. Haley Baldwin, no. But we got Billy Baldwin. No, we don't. We've got
You got Billy Ray Cyrus.
Billy Ray Cyrus. I wish we had him in there. He can play this guitar for me. So we got dope cast. Alicia Rainwright. The cast is sick, man. Woody McClain. But yeah, Gil Ozeri. I'm just gonna keep saying names as they pop in my head. People
Go
forget.
for it. That's why people tuned in.
Yeah, they're like, I want to know who all the cast members of all these obscure films that he did. No, but it was a really fun movie. They're still kind of tweaking the edit and stuff like that. So as the producer, I kind of say, do this and do that, but we'll see. I think it's a really fun movie. But yeah, I'm trying to produce as much as I can. It goes back to what we were talking about earlier, just why write? Like, why would I write something? It's more so to create for myself and create for other people. I definitely in my career, I want to be Adam Sandler. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be able to say, I want to go work in Hawaii and I want to only work with my friends, and no, we don't have a script yet. So it's like, yeah.
Book the ticket.
Yeah, and I want that to be my life, because I think he, I don't know his personal life, but I got a chance to work with him before on a movie, and the dude is easy. The dude is easygoing, man, and it was like, that's what I want to do. I don't want to be stressed out on set all the time. You know what I mean?
I feel you. Sandy Wexler.
Mm-hmm. Sandy Wexler, yep.
Just reading your IMDb.
Yeah, it's like, I know the film. It's Sandy Wexler, yes.
I know this reference. Speaking of the future, what's going to happen with you? What do you think is going to happen with Keith from Woke in terms of second season? And how much input do you have on that show? My favorite line, by the way, is everyone keeps talking about, don't bring up slavery is in the past. You know what else is in the past? Jesus. Y'all keep bringing that up.
Yeah.
I know your career. I was like, who came up with that line? Was that y'all or was that Lamorne? Who was it?
No, that was those guys. It was Marshall. I want to say, I'm not sure who exactly came up with it. It was either Keith or Marshall Todd.
You know what's funny? This is why you guys are amazing. Both of you guys gave each other the credit.
That's hilarious. That's amazing.
No, let me tell you something, man. It was, I didn't create the show, but it's such a collaborative show. You know what I mean? It's such a collaborative set. They would come to me and say, hey, how do you feel about this? Is there something you would say? Does this feel like you? And I, you get that on TV every once in a while, but on this show, it definitely felt more like, if I took more ownership in this, not just because I was the lead, but because Keith, the real Keith Knight's journey mirrors my journey. So I felt like as an actor, I could bring a lot of truth to it. And so, like I said, man, Marshall Todd, Keith Knight, the director, Mo Marable, all the producers, man, they were so like, they leaned on the actors a lot, which was great. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can bring a lot as performers. We can bring more than that, and they knew it. So they were like, "Yo, let's all hands on deck." They were killing it too, because while we were filming, they're doing rewrites. They're punching stuff up on the day. They're punching stuff up the night before. Never sleeping. It was a cool thing to see. So I know one of them said that, I came up with that. No, one of them came up with it. And I may have I improvise a lot, so I probably elaborated more on some elements and stuff, but that was definitely one of those guys who wrote that joke.
It's amazing. You got a really good cast. You got Blake Anderson, T. Murph, Sashir Zamata. I can't imagine I'm saying her name correctly.
Zamata. No.
And what's your ideal version of the second season of this show?
My ideal version,
in terms of animation, story, everything, because you guys also incorporate a lot of sort of visual stuff.
yeah. I definitely want to see, the show being called Woke, I definitely want to see more elements of what that means, for sure, and not just talk about injustice, like racial injustice, because to have an awakening could mean many things to a lot of different people. In the show, we definitely saw, T. Murph's character, Clovis, have his awakening is how to speak to women. You know what I mean? How not to be such a damn weirdo. You know what I mean? You see the character Ayana, who plays Sashir Zamata, who plays Ayana. She has her own awakening when it comes to her own reality and how she may have had a play in her relationship and her sexual awakening. We see the same thing with Gunther's character about his sexuality. You know what I mean? He's becoming more aware of what's happening, and he's my character obviously dealing with the elephant in the room, racial injustice. I want to see more of those storylines play out too, because we have a hell of a cast, and I definitely want to follow their journey a little bit more too. That was a cool thing. One of the cool things about the success of New Girl was that we didn't just follow Zoe's character. I mean, she was the A story most of the time, but we definitely gave the other characters layers and more stuff to do, and utilize their talents. And we did that a lot in this first season of Woke. And I'm just anxious to see, more. I want to see more of that. Definitely want to see cooler, like, we got to get you playing voices on this show. Like, it's for me, it's one of those things where I'm like, dude, you know how many people we can get on this show? Just voices, characters. Like, it's like, I do feel like I take ownership in that, because I'm like, okay, who do we get on the show now? Who do we, I definitely want to see more animation. I definitely want to see a little bit more slapstickiness at times, not a lot, because it's definitely like rooted in its reality, but it does have some absurd moments, and I definitely want to see it go there. Also, I definitely want to show my butt on the show. Yeah. I want to show butt. We did a scene where I was nude, and I'm not gonna. Well, I'll just say it. They didn't want to blacken the episode up like that.
No, I'll say it.
So they cut the nudity part out for me.
Guys, write in if you want to see Lamorne's butt on Woke, and just if you want to wake up to that. So
Hashtag that.
Let them know what you're about. Woke's on Hulu. Thank you. I appreciate you wanting to spread the love. I appreciate you showing up today. I love rounding out the show with this started in lockdown, and we're still in lockdown. I don't know if the people at restaurants know that, but I would love you to tell me the 5 things that you love right now. They can be tangible, intangible, an activity you do, a show you watch. Each thing can be a completely different category. What are the 5 things that you are totally into and loving right now?
The 5 things that I'm totally into and I'm loving right now, it's going to sound silly, but woke, just because, the pandemic kept my mind, all over the place emotionally, like thought I was depressed for a while. It was weird. And this show definitely brought me out of it, like watching it and seeing it and like seeing the fans' response to it. I genuinely like feel uplifted, you know what I mean? So definitely the show. Red wine. Cooper and Thief red wine. No, they're not paying me, but I really do love it.
I'm also a client.
Be careful, man. Someone's gonna Photoshop a dick. I'm telling you.
I'm prepared. I'm mentally prepared.
Do that one more time. Please, people, screenshot that and then tag him. Tag me too, because I'm gonna blast it all over my Instagram.
Guys, make sure you're tagging Wake Up to Lamorne Butt and Malcolm Dick pics, guys.
So I would say those things. I would say woke. I would say definitely red wine. I just started watching Lovecraft Country.
Yes.
Man, I just watched the first episode and I was like, what? So, loving Lovecraft Country.
Yes.
I'm loving Lakers basketball. Absolutely loving it. I'm a huge LeBron fan, if anybody knows that. And man, I'm also this is a cop out, but it's not really. I'm loving the fact that the Clippers are going to a game 7 and they might lose in this next series. In this series right now. I love that. Here's why I love it. Because man, the idea that when LeBron wanted Kawhi to come to the Lakers, people were LeBron wanted Kawhi to come to the Lakers. People were like mocking LeBron because he chose to go to the Clippers. Although he went to the Clippers for a number of reasons. It wasn't just to spite LeBron. But then the New Balance commercial comes out. All those commercials about how he's the king now and all this stuff like that. And I love Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard is one of my favorite athletes of all time. I just like his no nonsense demeanor, don't talk, just play basketball. He's one of my favorite players. But everyone's like, you could tell those commercials weren't his idea. You could tell he wasn't like, let me go and mock LeBron. So, and the fact that that team put together it's so funny. It's like when Damian Lillard misses a free throw, they're on the bench doing they're on the bench like mocking him, Dame time. Like it makes me so funny. It makes me laugh so hard that now they may lose. I'm not sure if you're a basketball fan, because I'm telling you, Nyambi is saying you're not.
Yeah, man, I'm just going to tell you how much I'm going to pretend I know a lot of what you're talking about. My favorite joke about Kawhi Leonard is that he's the type of dude that like goes like, oh, I got to go to work now. And he's in the finals. Like he's the type of dude that tells his wife and kids he's going to work.
Yep.
And he shows back at home. He's like, I'm sorry, I'm late from work.
Yeah, sorry, I'm late from work. How was work? I won the championship. It's like, they're like, all right, cool, thanks. He doesn't care. He's just playing basketball. Like, if you want to give him a trophy, fine. If not, fine.
He's like, he's like, why are you home so quick? The parade ended early.
Yeah. Oh, man. Tony Baker roasted you. He said, you just called Kawhi. Don't hit him with the skibbity paps. Hit him with the skibbity paps, Tony.
You tell this motherfucker stop skibbity papping me.
Yeah.
I clearly don't know. I tried to gloss over it. You ever just say a name so quickly that you don't know? You can tell I don't say his name a lot. I was like, well, the thing about Leonard.
Yeah.
Me.
This is about Delroy Leonard. He's calling him Delroy Leonard.
Fight, you know?
Oh man. Well, anyway, dude, thank you, man. Thank you for inviting me to be a part. This is fun, dude.
This is fun. We're at the end. I usually ask one last question, which is, where do we go from now?
There's only one way to go from here, down. And I hope that inspires you all. We're doomed. Dun dun dun. No, I think we go to even higher heights because, you know, sometimes you gotta like dismantle a bunch of things to build something beautiful. You know, the old saying is you gotta hit rock bottom before you can see your way up. And I think we're near the bottom. I think we definitely are near the bottom. Yeah. But the way people are kind of all hands on decking this whole thing, I just feel like we'll see a lot of toughness in our people in this country, and I think we'll definitely do a lot better. Hopefully, that can translate to the rest of the world, or the other countries in the world that are doing great can throw their energy towards us. I just think we'll be fine, and I think we're going to start moving upward, especially if Woke gets a second season.
Yeah. Well, I was about to say, of course, you're optimistic. You're living at Kanye's house. So
yeah. I don't want to say anything. I am in Wyoming on a ranch.
All right, man. Here's to rebuilding and making it. Let's make it great.
Wait. Again.
All right, man.
Love you, dog. Thank you.
All right. Same to you. I appreciate it so much, man. All right. You exit out so I look cool. Guys, that was a show. That was a nice show. I enjoyed it. My guest today has been Lamorne Morris. He's on Hulu's Woke. He's got some festivals, some movies, all types of shit. You can read his IMDb. I'm not gonna. We just had a whole thing where I just promoted his whole thing that he's doing. So it's, you know, you can look at the thing and then you'll see that he's doing it. We have the creator in here. We had the creator Marshall Todd. If you guys don't know, co-creator who also wrote Barbershop. So he likes black people. My guest next week will be Journey Smollett, or it won't. My guest next week will be Tamara Mowry. My guest next week will be Nicole Bahari, or it won't. Demand more Lamorne Morris butt on woke. Hashtag woke butt. Woke butt 2020. Guys, if I haven't been canceled yet, believe me, I will be by tomorrow. Guys, my guest next week will be Tessa Thompson from the Thor movies. My guest next week will be Gabrielle Union. Guys, my guest next week will be Robin Thede of Black Lady Sketch Show. Recent Emmy nominees, I believe. My guest next week will be Regina King. I don't really know when the Emmys are because I'm not sure that I am up for any. My guest next week will be Cicely Tyson. If you guys don't know, she has that fight with Roy Jones Jr. coming up. We are going to have some more female ladies. Hashtag woke butt. Please make it a thing. I don't know if you guys know, but Netflix is black now. Have you guys seen Family Matters? If you guys don't know the work of Thelma Hopkins, my guest next week will be Pauletta Washington. I think the video is supposed to end. I don't know why it hasn't ended. I'm just going to keep talking.
You say you want it, but you don't want to give it to me. You say you need it, but you don't want to give it to me. You say you want it, but you don't want to give it to me. You say you need it, but you